And we are recording.
Gang! Bad on air, bitch!
Welcome to a collaboration between VOX BOX and Bad on Air.
Bad on air.
Today we're gonna do a rundown of our personal top 10s of the top 10 albums of the decade.
Decade, not century.
Decade. So it's from
Not
2010 to 2019.
Exactly. Gang.
Yeah. So I guess before we start, I just want to go through like how did we all pick our top 10s. So like starting with that, how did you? What was your process to picking your top 10?
So I looked into my Spotify list.
Yeah.
And went from like my favorite artist to the most out here on a daily basis, and then went from that and got to that point.
Okay. Fair. And Bobby?
There's to be honest, I have already like an imprint of I guess a top 5 in my head, or like I have a certain amount of. For me, I collect physicals of albums that are basically, to me, closest to a 10.
A fine addition to my collection.
So it wasn't too hard for me to just go through those albums and be like, okay, that's really great, that's really great.
Yeah.
Or like, if an album has like impact on my personal life, I'll throw that in my top 10 for sure. So I already had an imprint of a top 3 in my head, and I just kind of went through my physicals and I just looked at them and I was like, yeah, that's probably it.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess we'll start with Antenehe with your top 10, then we'll critique your top 10.
So the whole top 10?
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. Starting from number 10 down to number 1.
Okay, so number 10
Yeah.
is 1.5 by Antenehe, because I gotta rep the Ethiopian man. Haha.
I didn't know he was Ethiopian. That's kind of weird to know.
No, but yeah, that album, I don't know why, it's really good to me.
Bruh. Well, hold on, you can't just put him in his top 10 and be like, I don't know why I like it. It's just there, like.
No, it's okay. So top 10 that I had 3 to think about,
Yeah.
and then I realized I'm like, nah, I gotta rep my boy.
Name 5 tracks.
Name what?
Name 5 tracks.
Yeah.
By who?
Amine on the album.
Okay. I don't know. No, there's a lot. There's like Blackjack. There's
That's
yeah. There's
Bruh. Look at this dude.
What's Spice Girls Part 2?
one song with
Number 9 comes in Stoney by Post Malone.
Honestly, that was, I think, it's not the strongest, I think it's the second best album.
Really?
Yeah.
I think it's his best
I
friend.
think Beer Bongs and Bentleys was a
No!
I've always said that
Yeah.
Beer Bongs and Bentley were the best.
Yeah.
But the more I looked at the album itself as an entirety,
Yeah.
Stoney, I like more
Yeah.
songs of
It was a
Stoney
good
than-
debut album. It was a really
Yeah.
good debut
Oh, for
It was-
sure,
it was-
yeah. I think it really
There's so
shot
many
him up
sounds
there.
on there, yeah.
Yeah. Like, I don't know.
He's an artist.
It's just, next is Trap Soul by Bryson Tiller. It's a mixture of trap and R&B and soul. So it's like,
I love it.
it just, yeah, it puts you in a mood, and it's a really nice tracks on that.
Okay.
7, I have to rep Drake somehow, so I said Take Care, because Drake is the biggest artist in the world, and Take Care is his best album.
Wrong.
And my favorite, one of my favorite.
Sure.
But when it comes to what do you call it, the song called Crew Love, it's one of my like anthem. Like, so that's why like the only reason I kind of chose it was because of that.
Yeah.
Just the one track.
But there are a lot of other
Yeah.
bangers on there, though.
Yeah,
Oh,
like
yeah, for
Marvin's.
sure.
Marvin's.
Marvin's not a banger.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
like emotionally, it's so like emotionally charged that it's like beautiful.
Yeah.
It is. Number 6, Life of Pablo. That's Kanye West album. Of this decade.
That's super whack, but yeah.
Okay.
I hate it. I actually did not like that.
I'm so sorry, but that album like was fire. To be honest, like the number 1 concert I've ever been to was the Kanye
Oh, okay.
Life of Pablo
The Kanye concert. The
That's
Pablo
why.
concert.
Is that the one you had a mask on?
No,
That was
the one
Jesus.
He,
No,
he was
no.
he was levitating on
That
the
was the one
platform.
with the stage.
You can't even see if you're standing.
What do you
If
mean?
you're on the
Like,
floor,
you're
you
like-
can't see it, yeah.
Bro, I wasn't on the floor, so I was a bit higher so that I could see him straight up.
Yeah.
Oh,
like
you mean the
tape-
100s?
Yes. Then number 5 is I Told You by Tory Lanez.
I haven't heard that one.
Oh, that was actually pretty good.
You said you haven't heard it?
No.
Oh god.
Dude, I think it's his best work by far.
By far.
It was his debut album,
His
right?
debut album too.
Oh, okay.
I thought it was.
It was a story.
Yeah, and I think like most artists when they come into the game, their first album is usually their best album because they're so hungry to get that money, that fame, and that recognition that they go all out on it. And then after that, they might like put their foot off the gas a bit. But for that one, the debut albums are mostly like the best ones.
Yeah. So they had so many years to also put out their debut album.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
And now-
Exactly, because no one knows.
And there's not like a crazy amount of pressure
Yeah.
on them from all these fans. So
East Atlanta Love Letter.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Jeez.
To be honest, it's my 2018 best album of the year for me.
2018.
Best album of the year.
What
Beats
happened last
Astroworld, Beast.
Oh, Daytona was number one for me.
Pusha T sucks!
We're from Toronto.
Yeah, he's T-Dot.
we can't be repping it.
Yeah, Drake, don't kill us.
Drake sends his goons.
Yeah.
Don't worry, I have an OVO rug somewhere. Don't kill me.
Yeah.
I got immunity. Use it as a shield.
Number 3 is Trilogy because it's
Nice.
the Starboy man.
Mm.
There's no need to explain that. That's like the greatest.
Is there one part of the trilogy that you like better than others, or?
Yeah, I'm more of Echo Silence where Dirty Diana and Initiation.
I like that, you know?
Yeah.
Most people gravitate towards House of Balloons.
House of Balloons, yeah.
Yeah, which is...
Because the first things you hear
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
I don't know why. Like House of Balloons is
That was the biggest hits on
actually
that,
the second one. Thursday was the worst one out of all 3 for me. Like, there's no worst one, but I'm saying out of the 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
I think all 3 of them have like really good... They have a lot of good highs and lows in their own sense because all 3 of them have like different contexts to them, you know what I mean?
yeah, that's number 2 is okay. You're gonna kill me for this, but
It's Chris Brown.
yes. Indigo.
What? No, it's not even his best album, let alone best album.
I looked through all his albums that I like, and I don't know why, but Indigo kills it.
I am head up.
I'm so sorry.
Alright, we're ending
I'm
this.
so album of the year of my life.
Decade, huh?
Of my life, like
Of your life. You 10 years old? No wonder you think Chris
okay, album of the my favorite album, Beauty Behind the Madness. I had to say The Weeknd again, just because he's my favorite artist. But Beauty Behind the Madness takes the cake.
Alright, so my list ain't in order. Okay, this guy already did a top 10. You did 10 to 1 like ranked, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
You didn't do that?
No.
Don't worry about it.
Okay, so my first one is Astroworld.
Mm.
I'm joking.
Is it? Oh, okay.
I'm like,
No,
we talked about
I personally think that Rodeo is a better album.
I think so too.
Right?
Yeah.
then Astro?
Yeah.
Astroworld.
I don't think so.
I've been following Travis from the days of Owl Pharaoh, where he brought his first mixtape out when he was making beats for Kanye and Good Music.
Yeah.
And when he was...
Days of Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, no. Yeah, before like, days before Rodeo, like all these albums, before he was like, when he was just like, new kid on the block, basically. And I remember like hearing him feature on Good Music Cruel Summer, and I was like, this guy's voice is incredible.
Yeah.
And I really just enjoyed listening to him. Like, sounds kind of weird, but his voice was like really good. And I enjoyed it, and I was like, he has like a great ear for beats.
6.5 hours later.
So yeah, Rodeo for a number of reasons. The beats are fire, the lyrics are amazing. One of my favorite songs is Pray for Love with The Weeknd, which is insane.
3 weeks later.
There's a reason why it's called La Flame. The dude literally just knows how to craft art. Like, I love it.
He even made Justin Bieber sound good.
Many months later.
Just gonna say Culture 2 was the worst album of the
it was pretty
decade.
bad.
Okay, I'll move on.
Yep.
Freudian by Daniel Caesar. One of the most refreshing albums I've heard in a
I
while.
don't remember.
Yeah.
Because I'm so in the loop of just listening to hip hop, and like you go on like playlists like Rap Caviar and all this, and like you hear the same stuff. Like it's all recycled Dookie, and like it's all like Lil Pump and like all these like mumble rappers coming out. And I was just so sick and tired of it. And then someone said like, oh, like this guy with Japanese denim, and I'm like, who that?
Yeah.
And then I realized he's from like Oshawa, and I'm like, mother of God, Oshawa, he's producing talent. And then I heard Freudian, and I was like, this is incredible.
Yeah.
And just through and through, it's like so soothing, and like the lyrics are so genuine and relatable, and it's just talking about love and life, and like I was in like a moment of euphoria just listening to the album.
Yeah.
I didn't know you'd put Daniel
Coming back from Euphoria, we go to Dirty Sprite 2 by Future. Oh my god, I think it's the best trap album of all time. Name it. Name one better.
That's a trap album?
Best trap album of all time. Dirty Sprite 2. Future Hendrix, the GO. For that time span, not now.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah, trust. Like,
You know
all
what,
the
to be
beats.
honest, I don't remember listening to it.
Yeah. There's like some...
I'm so sorry, but I don't.
Channel Orange by old Franco.
Oh, yep. That's a good one.
Classic. I think that's
Better
probably...
than Blonde, do you think? Or...
Yeah,
I think so.
I think so.
Okay.
I think a lot of people like Tiffany.
Yeah.
Problem. You think?
I think so. I don't know, because I do like Channel Orange better. Blonde, I thought I did like better before, but now I'm going back to it. It's Channel Orange is way more enjoyable.
Yeah.
You can listen to it way more.
Yeah, so I was just like...
And it relates to everyone else. Because like with Blonde, I didn't...
You didn't connect with it.
I didn't
like
connect
that,
with it.
Even the first couple of times when you listen to it, like to me, I didn't really get a from it. You know what I
It took
mean?
like 10 listens before I was like, damn, this is good.
Exactly. Yeah. And like for me, like a guy like me is always on the go. Like I don't think I have the time to like listen to music that's in that category 10 times over for it to click with me.
Yeah.
I love tracks where instantaneously, as soon as they start, they kind of like embed themselves into your head.
Yep.
So I really enjoy that. Channel Orange had some amazing tracks. Frank was like, I think that was like when he peaked.
Pyramid.
Yeah.
Pink
Pyramids,
Matter.
Joe, the second half of Pyramid, how it transitions is insane. And I was like, I love how each artist individually brings these things to the table. So I was very impressed with Frank Ocean. I was so like ready to hear some new from him. This guy went cold turkey on a motherfucker. I was like, yo. Next one is Trilogy by The GOAT, The Weeknd. I guess Anthony already talked a bit about this, but I just love the whole coked up sound of the record itself.
Which one out of the three then?
I think House of Balloons is really my place of the pie. Do you know what I mean? Like it's my cup of tea with a bit of cocaine in it. Yeah. So I really enjoyed a lot of the tracks. The Morning, The Zone, Wicked Games is the first track that just slapped my soul. Yeah, like I was just so.
I ever heard.
Yo, backstory time. So I was going through a real tough time, right? I'm like young. I'm like 14, 13, or like something like that. And then I'm like going through a breakup, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm like hearing Wicked Games, and I'm just like, I went through this phase where I was just like, bro, I was actually going through depression, and I would just like come back from school, I'd just turn the lights off and just listen to Trilogy on repeat.
Wow.
So it was like a real tough time for me. But even though this music was so depressing, it kind of made me feel, oh, you know, your life ain't that shitty.
Yeah.
This dude be really going through it. So I think that's my top 3 albums of all time. That one, because it had such like great emotional gravity to it, I really enjoyed the fact that it was so emotionally connected to me, and it kind of brought me out of depression. So I really enjoyed it. So yeah, that's the whole thing about The Weeknd and why I love the guy so much. So next one is, I was kind of. I was tied between Take Care and If You're Reading This Is Too Late. But if I'm like completely honest and I don't kind of follow the usual norm, I think If You're Reading This Is Too Late is my favorite album by Drake.
It is. That's my favorite too, yeah.
And it's an album that slaps cover to cover. It is so good.
Every single song is really good.
And I know like 90% of the lyrics. This is like pure rap from Drake. I love it. It's so
when
good.
he became the Sixth God, I think.
Yeah, I think that's really when he just like took that title on.
No. Views was when he became the Sixth.
No.
He
literally has.
God. He's 6 man.
Yeah, and like even on 6 gods on there, and then he got the praying hands with the 6 on there as the cover.
It all started from If You're Reading This.
I think so. Yeah, that's really what he propelled himself to be like. Yo, I'm untouchable in Toronto. Like you gotta respect that.
He was king of Toronto in 2016.
Facts. That was like when he and then views dropped, and it was like free
6 lakh.
free black. How fucking dare you? You know what? Saying 6 lakh is the most like.
You know
It's
he does
weird
not
to
like
say
enjoy
just
it.
black.
No.
Yeah.
He hates it. He actually said that on an interview.
Kind of makes me want to say more.
Yeah.
No, you can't. The guy said like, if you know, like I'm the artist, like why don't you say my name properly? Like, it's black.
I don't give a I bought your music. You gotta listen to my opinion, huh?
So if your name is Bobby and they call you something else,
Dobby.
Yeah, Dobby.
The magic elf.
Me, the house elf.
Yeah, I'd be like, yeah, it's on the gang.
Sock here.
No, I got that. Gucci.
Why you give me a sock for?
If you watch Harry Potter, if you give you a sock, like he's free. Dobby. No.
Okay, I didn't remember all that. Thanks for the sock.
Remember that?
What a loser. So, next album by my man K. Dot, Good Kid, Mad City, Skrat,
Kendrick
sick
Lamar.
album. I think his best album by far. A lot of people would disagree with me. Definitely this guy. I think so. I think so.
Damn. No.
No.
Okay.
No, that's
Good Kid, Mad City is the most
Yeah.
hood fucking album. I felt like I was from Bompton or Compton, depending on how you like it. I'm very neutral, so I'm gonna say Ompton. I love that album. It really gave me like insight into like California street life. It was a great storytelling album. The skits back forward, like back and front, like it was
That's a real story.
Yeah, like. So really was good too. But yeah, so like when I was talking about how he's like popping his. What's that one track where he's like, Me and my homies are back of an old Toyota.
Oh, Art of Peer Pressure.
Oof.
Yeah.
Yo, that whole thing is flames. Like, this guy is painted such a vivid picture. I could really picture like
The sirens.
the sirens, the RV, like how they're just like
Right
grabbing
to the
TVs and
house,
shit.
yeah.
Yeah, like, and they're just like, and then we have Kissland by The Weeknd. Buddy, when I tell you I fucking hated this album, I'm telling you, it was by far the worst album for me.
It is though.
Fuck this guy.
By the weekend. By the weekend.
Have you heard it?
No.
Dude, this album is, I was like, this is shit. This is absolute garbage. I don't know how people like it, because everyone wouldn't shut the fuck up about Kissland this, Kissland that. I had a couple good tracks on it. I had a track with Drake, and yeah, that's all I remembered for the start, right? And then I started like, once I listened to it, because I would just like skip through the tracks and be like, this is kind of ass. So one day I just sat down, I put my headphones in, and I listened to it track by track. And I was mind blown how this guy was just like talking about life and how he was like all coked up, and then he was hurt by a girl, then he turned savage, and then he's like dicking every girl he finds. And then again with like how, you know, the instrumentals kind of bleed into each other. I was like, oh, this is so satisfying. And the album as a whole was like a fucking 10 to me. And then yeah, last one I think,
yes.
Take Care. Take Care, obviously one of Drake's best albums.
Yep.
Again, slaps cover to cover. I really like the cover, how it's like he's looking like a sad boy, you know? He's just kind of like contemplating life. And we know that was the phase where Drake was just talking about how he's kind of like upset over women, and how they're doing him dirty, and how he's just kind of like sick of all of it, and how he's getting fame, and now everyone wants to fuck with him. Like, tracks like Headlines will forever be a Toronto anthem.
Amazing.
I think so. Like, when I saw Headlines, I was like, that was one of my favorite tracks. Just before, you know, my first ever Drake track I heard was Find Your Love.
Oh yeah, it
That was such a fire track.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was so good. That one, and then so yeah, that's my little top 10. I'm gonna wrap it up. I'm talking for way too long. My bad, guys.
Guess recording already.
Hola, amigos.
I made a spreadsheet. I think I'm gonna start with my honorable mentions actually.
Yeah, go.
And then I'll go into my top 10.
Yeah, fair.
So honorable mentions, I have 6 of them actually. So yeah, they're not ranked. So I guess so for one of my honorable mentions, I have Tetsuo and Youth, Lupe Fiasco. 444 by Jay-Z. I think that's my favorite Jay-Z album. I'm not too big for a Jay-Z guy, but like
I'm not a Jay-Z.
I really enjoyed that album. Black Messiah by D'Angelo and the Vanguard.
I
So that was like an R&B thing. He took like 15 years to write this one, like from his last album basically.
That's crazy.
But it's just a really good album. Next is Kid See Ghosts.
Oh, is it a top 10?
No, you put
this
it
is
on
my
there.
honorable mentions.
Oh,
What?
okay.
These are my honorable mentions.
Oh, okay. That's fine.
That's the one with Kid Cudi, yeah?
Kid Cudi,
And,
yeah. I think as an album, it's the best that Kid Cudi and Kanye is the best thing that they could have offered. And then last honorable mention is Sound and Color by Alabama Shakes. So into my top 10.
Number 1, Nav.
How'd you know, dude?
Okay, so top 10. At number 10, I have Swimming by Mac Miller. I think this one is his best album. And it's the reason I like it is because looking back at it now, it was a farewell album from Mac Miller before he died like a few months later.
I thought it was the Divine Feminine.
What do you mean?
I thought Divine Feminine was the last album before you passed away.
Oh, no, it's Divine Feminine, then Swimming.
Oh, yeah.
Swimming
That's the one where you
was
sat down, right?
Yeah, the airplane one.
That's the one, yeah.
Yeah. From top to bottom, just about his depression, how he's battling with his mental health, how he's trying to get better, and then like little bits of his childhood in that one track, 2009. I don't know if you guys heard too much of it, but
No, I heard the whole album, but it's after he passed away.
Yeah.
I heard about it.
yeah.
Rest in peace, Mac.
Mhm.
No.
And seeing him from like way back from like his mixtapes and stuff all the way to here, I think he's had one of the best artistic progressions. Just like Kanye, like every time he switches up his album, like his sound is different. Number 9, Anderson .Paak, Malibu.
Malibu's a hard album.
Yeah, Malibu. I think I was so impressed by how many different sounds he was able to put onto that album. Like it's R&B, it's soul. There's a little bit of like experimental, like not rock, but like I don't know. But there's a lot of sounds.
Good samples, yeah.
Yeah.
And the guy, like, okay, with Anderson .Paak also, like, it's not just like he's mixed stale music on a keyboard. This guy actually loves
plays
instrumentation.
all the instruments,
He's so talented.
Plays the drums, plays like keyboard, blah blah.
Yeah,
blah.
he's fire, dog. I love him.
Number 8 is Daytona by Pusha T. Number 7 is Pure Heroin by Lorde.
I heard that album's good.
It's a really good album.
Is it actually?
Yeah, it's really
I thought, I was like, Lord, I don't know. She's kind of pop though. I was like, oh.
But she's like good pop. She was Billie Eilish before Billie Eilish. Billie
Yeah.
Eilish is Lord Light.
Oh.
Lord Light.
She walks
Yeah.
so Billie Eilish could run.
Yeah, from top to bottom, it's about basically like it paints a really great picture of teenage angst in suburbia. Like I don't know how many people can relate to that. Me a little bit, but like it feels like a dream. Like you're just living through her life, her perspective as a teenager, her
Is it a good story?
things that she's worried about. Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
So you're trying to fit in with the other kids not being like royals,
Oh yeah,
white teens, blah blah blah.
I love that.
It's all about like not being able to fit in.
Basically going against the grain kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's like a
I like
being,
that.
being her own thing.
I will always support someone like that.
Yeah.
Cause like I love that. I hate a sheep motherfucker.
Yeah. Next one is Random Access Memories, Daft Punk.
Oh,
That was an amazing
That's a great
album.
album.
Yeah.
I like that. I don't know. You sounded kind of hesitant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
At first I was like, didn't have to remember.
Yeah.
You're a daft cunt.
Yeah, Daft Punk.
Like I love the retro sound off of it, and then I guess the theme of it, the thing that I pulled from it was just like Daft Punk being robots trying to find their humanity. They're like exploring those themes of like
That's
love,
a sick concept.
love, touch,
Everything.
yeah, basically, yeah.
That's so dope.
And we had like Get Lucky off that. That was a huge track.
Shout out for all.
Yeah. Oh, number 5 is For Emma Forever Ago by Bon Iver. So the story behind this album was that this is Bon Iver's first album. He broke up with his girlfriend, locked himself up in a winter cabin in Wisconsin in the middle of nowhere, and then just wrote this album. And so,
Cool.
I love how artists just go ahead and do shit like that.
It's always after a breakup.
That was his Britney bitch
Yeah.
moment.
yeah. So it's just like about, I guess, loss of love, depression, a little bit of depression, but then by the end of it, he comes through and like it's definitely a happier mood. Like there's things that he's like, it feels triumphant. Like he's gone through the dark times. It's time to come out of the woods.
I like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Number 4. Okay, so this is a double album. This is one where I was like,
Which one to choose?
So Frank Ocean, Channel Orange, and Blonde. I put them in the same spot. I would say Channel Orange is the better album. But Blonde, yeah, definitely. They're both. We already talked about this, but like, yeah, Frank Ocean, one of the best artists of this decade. Number 3 is Carrie and Lowell by Sufjan Stevens.
I can't lie. I thought you were gonna say Carrie Underwood.
My country girl.
That's my girl.
Yeah, so this one, again, another story. So the story behind this one is that Sufjan Stevens, his mother, had just died from cancer. And so this album was like very depressing. Like it's exploring childhood memories of his mom while trying to like, yeah, basically grapple with the loss of a loved one. So you get very personal stories through the songs. Like he remembers doing this with his mom, doing this with like Lowell. So Carrie's his mom, Lowell's like her boyfriend, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, memories of both of them. Number 2. Ooh, wow, we're already in our number
crazy.
2s. Number 2.
Look how far we come.
My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy and Yeezus together.
Oh.
Jesus, I'm a bit iffy about.
Again, there's a story behind it. Like he was basically like pushed away from the music industry after the whole Taylor Swift fiasco.
Yeah.
His mom had just died, so he put out 808s and Heartbreak because of that. But then other things going on in his life, puts himself away to Hawaii, wrote this album with like he flew in everybody to like make this one album. Rick Ross, Pusha T, Nicki Minaj. This is like the first time anyone's heard of Nicki Minaj like big on that
Really
track.
spazzing on that
track,
too.
Yeah. And so yeah, it's one of those albums where it's just like it's a huge triumph for him. He came back with one of the best albums like ever made, I think. And just the sounds of it, like the themes that he talks about, like power, being like lost in this world, being a runaway, being a castaway or something like that.
I like that.
And then the reason I chose Yeezus as well was it's the opposite.
Boo.
It's the complete opposite of My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. While My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy was maximalist, put in all the sounds you can, Yeezus was very stripped back. It was industrial. Like it was. There's that grunginess to it.
Jeez.
And like you don't at any one moment you really only hear either his voice and maybe a drum in the background, or just like instrumentals. That's just the one instrument or something like that. It's super stripped down, and it's again both of them are talking about the struggles of him being someone who is outside of the music industry, or people don't believe in him.
Yeah.
So this is the time when he was trying to get into fashion, and during Paris Fashion Week, he like they told him he couldn't do what he wanted to do, and he wrote "I Am a God" because of And then number 1, this one's the easy one for me to pick. It was tied between To Pimp a Butterfly and Good Kid, Mad City. I think To Pimp a Butterfly is the better album. But the reason I like both of these is that they're both exploring the same themes of the issues that the black community faces, but at different scopes. So Good Kid, Mad City, it's about Compton, versus To Pimp a Butterfly, it's America. This is the experience that all African Americans face. Sonically, I appreciate To Pimp a Butterfly a little more, just because he brought in that soul, he brought in that funk, he brought in all these Thundercat, he brought in, I forget who else he brought in, but like a lot of these really cool funk artists. Kamasi Washington, I think, is on it too. Yeah, just like sonically, I like To Pimp a Butterfly a lot more. Good Kid, Mad City is definitely way more accessible though.
Yeah, I think Good Kid, Mad City is more for a wider audience compared to Pimp a Butterfly, which is like a more socially conscious album. To me, I felt like To Pimp a Butterfly, for me personally, didn't have a lot of replay value compared to Good Kid, Mad City. But I know a lot more people prefer To Pimp a Butterfly just because of the message it has within itself and how it's artistically shaped.
Plus the concept, like having that poem going throughout the whole story and then ending with the interview with Pac, I was like, oh my god.
That's insane, yeah.
It took like 10 listens before I was like, I kind of understand what's going on. First time you're like, there's so much going on. It takes forever to actually dissect. You're on Genius, you're just reading through it, you're like, okay, this is what that means.
I love Genius.
Yeah. And you learn so much. Like Kendrick is able to weave such a huge tapestry, like a mosaic of his experiences, the experiences of his people.
That's why I felt like Dan was a bit of a letdown compared to Pimp a Butterfly, you know?
Thank you for watching, everybody. This has been like a very enlightening episode, I guess.
Yo, I really enjoyed it, man. I love having the different perspectives and like so great to like be on the show. Appreciate it.
And
we like being hated on. Like I don't know why, but it's like it's weird because Chris Brown sucks! No, he doesn't! Fucking sucks.
He's
good. In the comment, say Chris Brown's sick, please.
Or you can comment Chris Brown sucks.
Or we just end the video.
Yeah. So anyway, what we want you to do is like list down your top albums, see if you agree with us, see which ones like you want to like listen to now that we've talked about it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Alright, yo. Thank you, VOX BOX, for having us.
Thanks for being here, dudes. Oh wait, I'm in your house though.
He's in our lair, but we finna
VOX
get
BOX.
Shout out VOX BOX. Go like, comment, subscribe, my boy. Support them.
Jeez.
Big ups. And a bit.
Late my dudes.
Ah ha ha.